Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, is the James to my Juan, Nate.
I'm not even gonna dignify this movie with a quote.
Well, if you were gonna be like really on brand with this movie, you would have turned the lights off, and then you would have like popped up on the side over here, though. I'm not that good with like After Effects or anything, so otherwise I'd be pretty tight.
I cut over to my notes. This is the quote of the movie right here. End this Black Sabbath by the blood of cavalry. I command it. That's the kind of writing you're looking at in this movie.
Was that in the movie?
Excited.
Was that in the movie? Because I could have sworn that's probably what you and Lisa were both like screaming at the screen during this one. And of course, I just mentioned her, but our queen of unsuspecting victims, Lisa.
I've decided that we need to spend about 5 minutes on this episode, so I think we're about to wrap it up.
I was gonna say Lisa and I were praying to Lord.
The singer from New Zealand
for this to be over. Oh man. Yeah. Yep. This is going to be a movie that I'm actually excited about discussing it. Lisa's on board. So this is going to be great.
Oh yeah. This should be something. Well, look, welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim, who is usually not someone we consider a horror fan. New movies, it's hard to get other folks into new movies. So it's just us three for New Movie Month. We've gone through quite a bit. We've hit a bunch of new releases. Can I just say it's been nice to have new movies? And this doesn't even... And these are like, we're talking major theatrical releases, obviously. I mean, there's so many like new horror movies coming out on like, things like Shudder and Netflix and Amazon. So it's really a boon for horror right now. So for people like Nate and I, this is a great time. Lisa, not so much. Don't see a lot of like small budget Harry Potter films coming out during this time.
There's never been a small budget Harry Potter film.
There might have been some like fan stuff on YouTube somewhere,
Oh, that's yeah.
Everything that comes out like that comes out like a play, not a movie.
Oh,
yeah. You gotta go see it on the East End or something.
Bunch of theater nerds. So this week we are wrapping up our new movie, new release June. I forgot what we called this. It's been a long month. With The Conjuring 3. The Nathan Make Me Do It. And it's something. I'm excited to get into this movie. Longtime listeners will know Nate is not a fan of the Waniverse. Lisa is not a fan of any horror verse. And I like them. So, I'm interested to see where we're going to land on this. But look, before we get into our normal antics, we got to do a quick little shout out. And by quick little shout out, I mean a shout out for us, because we got a 5-star review on iTunes. And we'd like to I thought y'all would appreciate this.
Oh man, I didn't see this one.
This one says, titled Best Horror Podcast You'll Find. This is the best horror podcast on the web. Mitch, Nate, and Lisa are all entertaining. The devices they use are engaging and get more interesting as you become more familiar with them. I especially like Lisa's unsuspecting victim role. She plays it perfectly so that it's really funny and not negative enough to detract or become annoying. overall,
At least it's not annoying. All right.
Overall, there's a solid podcast that provides tons of good listening for the horror fan. Well, it's
Mission Nate. Are we annoying?
Shit,
we don't know, but Lisa for sure not.
Nate,
so we got that.
Nate, we know. we know. It's
best horror podcast on the web. 2/3 of the hosts are annoying, but that 1/3 really shines through.
Well, look, it's a tough balance because you have to not liking horror films, but then having to be able to sort of discuss them engagingly is a difficult task.
So
done, Lisa.
So we come to a conundrum here. I didn't hear a movie in there. So Human Centipede. Which one though? Is it 1, 2, or 3?
No. You see, I wasn't annoying until you have to watch that.
If anything, Lisa I think if Lisa's the one getting all the kudos, Lisa gets to insert the movie. That's fair.
That seems fair. Okay.
Join us next week when we watch Love Actually.
That's a horror movie for me. Isn't that the one where the guy from Walking Dead is in there? Isn't he doing like cue cards where like I'm a total stalker?
Yeah, he's like talking to someone else's like wife or girlfriend or something. Like, hey,
yeah, he's like I'm gonna skin you and whatever. It's on the back of every card that it drops. He's just like, which side do I use? I guess I'll use the normal side, not the serial murderer side.
Well,
that's all I remember from the whole movie.
It's all about communication, right? And we all know that nonverbal communication, you lose so much of the context. Like if he said all that in a weird, whispery, creepy way over the phone, no one would like it. But because it's over text, you can read it in whatever voice you want. And yeah, I agree. So Lisa, you can fill in. We already have one movie now on the queue from last week's 5-star review. So yeah, get them in. But thank you. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Fisha of Morn, whatever. It's awesome. I think that's how you say it. Either way, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Appreciate the review. But
send us a message. Listening. Send us a message if you wanted a movie.
Yes, if you want a movie,
it goes to Lisa.
Send us some on at Twitter, TX Pod Massacre or Texas Podcast Massacre at gmail.com.
What if the person's Twitter handle was centipede at watch me? Is this an elaborate trap? I hope so. That would be amazing.
I would absolutely know it's you doing it though. Is the problem? There's
a lot of centipede variations you could use. It's fine.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, look, we need to get into this. So again, new movies, we will have a non-spoiler part and then a spoiler part. So long as Lisa and Nate can contain themselves. But before that, let's get into our debate question of the week.
Bid our father, the Sea King, rise from the depths full, foul in his fury. Black waves teeming with salt foam, to smother this young mouth with pungent slime.
Lisa, I think, would like a contest where anyone can suggest any different drop for this segment than The Lighthouse.
Oh, yes, please.
I don't know what we'll give if we select your entry.
Lisa's creating a new Apple ID right now. She's reviewing. She's creating a new Apple ID as we speak. 5 stars. Change the drop. Lisa is the best host. 5 stars.
Please send us that. Send us anything. We get a lot of really cool messages. In fact, we have one listener, Victor, who sent us like he's his own like kind of screenplay for like a Jason movie, which I started reading it. I'm a little behind on it. Pretty interesting. He said he's written like 8 more, I think. So we only got the 1. So yes, keep sending them. Send us all stuff. We'll start.
I have these little babies take up a lot of your time, but that does sound great. I mean, look, there hasn't been
eventually, like Damien's old enough now where now his telekinesis, he could use that to like get his own yogurt out of the fridge. So
exactly.
There's less there. So, but between him and Carrie just mind flinging shit across the room. It's you just get used to it. It's a new, you'll get there. You'll get there. I believe. Look, we need to have a state of the union with this debate question, but really, it's really a state of the Waniverse. This is now the 8th entry, I think, into the officially the canonical Waniverse. And I think we need to take a pause and ask, like, how's it going? What, are we still in the same solid footing we were when this all started?
I'm looking up
So
all
remind
the
me
movies.
what's in the Waniverse.
Yeah, I'm
besides
making
the
sure I'm not
Conjuring
missing
movies and
anything.
the
All right,
Nun
so
and-
so the Waniverse is first. It's
Conjuring,
the three
Conjuring,
Conjurings.
1, 2, and 3. There is The Nun, right? That was the spinoff.
Yep.
2 Annabelles, right?
Yeah, Annabelle Comes Home. No, 3. There's Annabelle Creation, and Annabelle Comes Home.
Oh, I never saw Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one that saw that one.
Jesus Christ, that one was like 2 years ago, right? Yeah. I think it did well. So I saw Annabelle Origins, I think with you, Mitch.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And you hated all of it except for the little girl getting run over by a truck. That part you seemed to
that was like in the very beginning. What was the point of that?
You were pretty thrilled about that part, as I recall.
Love the first 5 minutes, and then it went.
And then the only kind of weird one out of the group, La Llorona, or the Curse of La Llorona.
I was reading that isn't technically in the same universe, but when they did the marketing, they leaned into it, but it really isn't.
Hey, if you market it that way, that means it.
Well, that's true. Okay, fine. Yeah, so I'll count that.
So I think that's 8.
And then James Wan also, started off Insidious. That's not in the Waniverse, but it is tangential.
Yeah.
And that's had 4 movies?
Yeah. But in that case, is Aquaman in the Waniverse?
I don't know about that. That was already kind of.
Hey, remember he was the director. He was the director of Saw. So is Saw in the Waniverse?
The thing about all these movies is that they're all bad now.
Hey! Don't you slander Dead Silence? Don't you slander that movie? That movie's
did not care for it.
God, Nate, that was like stabbing me in the soul.
I think the only James Wan movie I might like is the first Saw. Like that's my favorite of all of these movies, and that was like the first one. And there's everything else after that. Just the first Conjuring, I actually did not mind as much. But anyway, so Lisa, how many have you seen of those? So that's a lot. Like you saw The Nun, right, with us?
The Nun.
Yeah.
And I've seen 2 of the Conjurings.
2 and 3, but not the first one.
Not the first one.
The first one I think is the best. I think that's pretty well established, right, Mitch? I don't think there's
the first one. I'll agree the first one's the best, but I would say it's marginally better than 2. Like 2 is phenomenal on its own right.
I did not. Okay.
I remember liking 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa, I know you like that.
Which was surprising.
Very surprising. I think you were like, I think you pitched going to see it in theaters, like not for an episode or anything, and that was very shocking to me. Because this does not seem
just
like
the sign of my enduring love for you.
Oh. That's a heart I'm making.
But the way you
for
said
our
it,
YouTube viewers, yeah.
You sounded like you turned into Daria for a second. You were just like so disinterested when you said it.
Nate,
like, what happened?
Nate, the kids listening don't know who Daria is. Okay.
Okay, that was a really old reference.
Have you ever played sports with me? The volleyball would definitely go past my hand.
Okay.
That's no problem.
We need to put that on your Daria Halloween costume was incredible, and not enough people got it at that party.
Should wear it again.
God, you
Bring
should.
it back. Bring it back.
Should. It was masterful. We'll have to put that up on Instagram or
what
something.
A great
anyway.
what a great costume to like it, like, you know what? I don't feel like doing much at the party this year. Like just be Daria and like just like I'm apathetic because it's my
just
character,
make a fake like Sick Sad World newspaper and you're set. Like
yeah, you're good. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the Waniverse.
Yeah.
So Lisa, based on what you've seen, do you like this? Do you want more of this? How do you feel about it?
You've seen them in progression too. You've seen the Conjuring 2 into the Nun and then Conjuring 3. So you've seen them as they're progressing.
Conjuring 2 was good. The Nun was meh. What did I tell you about the Nun, Mitch? I couldn't get over the fact that the nun looked like Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, no, none of us could. We just looked like it was at a new
and then
metal
this
concert.
one,
Definitely trying to touch people unwantedly.
So here's the problem with this one. I went into this one super terrified, like, oh my God, I really don't want to watch this. This is going to be really bad. And then it was just boring.
Oh, that's even worse.
Like, this is not that scary.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So more bored? So you're bored by the man. So are you excited?
That's how long I've been doing this that I was like, ugh.
If there was a Conjuring 4, are you excited about it?
Ugh. No.
Wow. Okay.
No.
What about a 4th Annabelle movie?
I've never seen any of the Annabelle movies and I'm never going to watch them. So don't
Lisa,
somebody 5-star review us now. Lisa, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, Lisa, that's the Venn diagram of like Lisa has 2 horror movies that she types she hates. Demon possession type movies and murdering doll movies. And so that Venn diagram is a circle in terms of
nice. So there's gonna be a Nun 2.
Back in the habit.
Supposedly.
Back in the habit. Oh,
Back in the habit.
They better do that.
That's really good. Wow. Are you excited for that one, Lisa?
No. Why are they doing a second one?
I don't know. And there's supposedly going to be a spin-off movie, The Crooked Man, which was from Conjuring 2. That was one of like there's a few different.
Do that?
No, they did not.
He was a big part of The Conjuring 2, but yeah, no, they didn't have.
So there's the dude in the light carousel thing or whatever, right?
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, Lisa is not on board. It doesn't sound like.
Nate, what about you? Whoa, are you on board with the Crooked Man 2 or Crooked Man?
Put it in a fucking capsule and launch it into space. These are done. I don't care for them at all. First Conjuring, kind of liked it. And then ever since then, nothing. None was garbage. Annabelle, I only saw the first one and the second one. Maybe the first one was okay. The second one, Origins, was meh. And then, yeah, I mean, these Conjuring, the second Conjuring, I did not like at all. And then this one, I also, spoiler alert, do not care for. So, yeah, I am, and La Llorona was probably the worst of all the movies for me. So that means it was not great. So if you count all those, I don't know. I mean, look, I know these movies are going to make a ton of money and they're going to keep making them. And the way
now,
the Warrens were like such charlatans for a very long time. So there's lots of true stories that you could pull from. I'm sure they'll make more. But yeah, I would love to see maybe James Wan's going to do that Malignant, that Giallo movie. I wish he would just do new cool stuff like that and just like leave this, other people are directing now. So maybe he just leaves it. He goes off and does it, turns into Leprechaun 5 or, whatever, Conjuring 4 back into Hood or something. And then he goes off and does other stuff. That would be ideal because I think he should be done with all this stuff. I think it's kind of, it's turning into just like the sequel churn rather than something good.
The problem is that we're asking people. I mean, this is like asking someone who's allergic to chocolate to tell me their favorite Easter candy. Like it's you're biased. Y'all aren't being objective about this.
Everyone's biased.
This is over. But I mean, like. Ship it to space because you haven't liked it since the beginning.
I'm allergic, bitch. I'm allergic to bad movies.
These movies are not bad,
and I got hives. All over.
Whoa! You need to calm down. You're allergic to bad movies. Come on.
Yeah, well,
I'm allergic.
Some of the stuff that you've made us watch.
Let me rephrase that. That is actually a good distinction. I'm allergic to bad, serious movies. If they're bad fun movies, that's a different story. This
just,
movie is trying to be real serious.
Is pulling a
You
Heath
really
Ledger.
think Tourist Trap wasn't taking itself seriously?
Did you hear like the musical score was like 90% chimes? It was very whimsical at the bare minimum.
Oh my God. Nate's just in the theater just yelling, "Why so serious?" at the screen.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah. But anyway, Mitch, what do you think? Yeah. You're the fan. So
well, I mean, look, you cannot sit there and tell me The Conjuring, the very first one, wasn't incredible. That it wasn't.
I said that one was pretty good.
That it did not leave a mark. It's good. Conjuring 2, equally.
I don't think I could tell you one scene from the first Conjuring. I don't think I could tell you one. I remember it being pretty good, but I don't think anything memorable happened that I can remember.
Oh my God. All right. There's plenty. I don't know what to say to that.
Did the crosses turn in that one or is that the second one?
No, that's the second one.
Okay. Well, then I don't remember anything from the first one.
The first one's the one where like they've got like the bed sheet over the face. And then like, as it's like rotating through, all of a sudden you see that demon face pop out of nowhere. That was terrifying. What? Oh my God. All right. So look, so the two Conjurings are great. And we'll get into more about the third one in this episode. I agree. Curse of La Llorona was, there were clearly other issues involved. Like, I think they shoehorned this into being a La Llorona movie to begin with, and then it just didn't work. The Nun was a gorgeous movie in terms of setting, and I think Taissa Farmiga did as well as she could, but yeah, you can hear our review on that one. The Annabelles are sort of hit and miss. They all have like individual things that are really interesting and cool about them, but as a whole, not great. I think what it really comes down to is James Wan, when he's behind the camera, his mastery of like being able to hold a frame and how he's able to sort of set up some of these shots and scares, even when they don't necessarily jump out. You know, obviously the directors that come after him try to emulate the exact same sort of like jump scare, like, oh, we're looking in the darkness up and it's from the side, right? Like you're so used to it. But I think when he does it, he's got a much better sense of like that, like millisecond timing, but he doesn't direct these anymore. And that's kind of the problem, right? Like he's involved in the writing and he kind of produces, but he's not like there when they're filming it, right? He's not. And to me, a lot of this is, I mean, story is fine. It's execution that's often not really working in some of these later entries. I don't know, if you had James Wan actually behind the camera, I think you'd be in better shape with this. But I think as of now, I do kind of agree. At this point, you'll put a stake in it. I think it's run its distance. I'm not interested. I'm waiting
for the Conjuring Netflix series. Like that's probably like maybe they get one more movie out of it and then it goes to like Netflix or something.
But we'll talk.
I could see that happening.
Like I said, this movie, unfortunately, kind of encapsulates a lot of what's wrong with sort of building up this universe, right? And we'll get into it, but yeah, it's got some issues, and I think I don't know. I don't really know where they really go from here. That's altogether that interesting. You know, I'm not really interested in the Crooked Man, right? It's who cares, right? You know,
who cares?
Well, because
I agree.
It's not really tied to the Warrens. It's not really tied. It's not really tied to sort of the Annabelle or that.
To be honest,
or that
not
Cult
tied to
of
the
Ram.
Warrens. If you're not tied to the Warrens, then I'm more interested.
Well,
that's just me, though.
Well, yeah. All right. So look, we want to know, what do you think about the state of the Waniverse? Let us know at TexasPodcastMassacre@gmail.com, TXPodMassacre on Twitter, and Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. Let's get into this week's movie of the week, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
The court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
You okay there? Jesus. I think I hurt someone.
In 1981, one, Arnie Johnson pled not guilty.
We think this family was cursed.
By reason of demonic possession.
I am not going before a grand jury and saying he was possessed by demons.
Whatever happened that day, that was not Arnie.
Color me your color, darling. Come off your color chart. I know where you're coming from. Coming from. Coming from. Coming from. I know who you are.
All right, we'll go there. Yeah. Conjuring 3. The devil made me do it.
They got Blondie's Call Me. Spoiler alert. They licensed that song.
Yeah. I didn't catch it the first time I was watching it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't know. It was
The music, they like reference Blondie like 4 different ways in the movie. Wow. Okay.
It didn't register with me. We'll get into why in a second. Lisa, unsuspecting victim. What's the elevator pitch for this? Besides, hey, the other 3 everything else has made a butt ton of money, so let's just keep cranking them out.
The pitch is the Warrens try to perform an exorcism. It doesn't work out the way they want it to. And a kid ends up on trial for murder. And yeah. And they're trying to say the devil made him do it. Unsuspecting victim friendly. Depends what bothers you. I mean, this had a lot of creaky bone people, like, oh my God.
Oh God. Don't get me started on the creaky bone.
If contortionists bother you, you are not going to have a good time in this movie.
Yeah. That was like the most scary stuff was just the contortionist stuff. I was like, all right.
But it's happened in like every movie. Like it's just,
yeah.
They got like the same like Foley artist doing like the bone cracking for like 100 different movies with possession.
So if that doesn't bother you, then you'll be okay. There's jump scares, but I mean nothing overly. This is bad, guys. I think I'm starting to get to like, hey, you'll be fine. Just go see it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's right. Look, all you unsuspecting victims, you'll be fine. Just go see it.
You'll be fine.
Fine. Yeah. Nate, what can you tell us about your favorite movie?
This movie came out June 4th, the day that was
the day the music died.
I was at the day the music died. I was at the day of living infamy. But either way, it's basically the same thing. This was a so long, hour and 12 minutes. Felt longer. This movie is rated R for intense bone cracking. It is a 6.4 on IMDb. What do you guys think? I'm going to ask you guys this question. What do you guys think the budget is for this?
Way too damn much.
But just take a guess.
Probably in the millions upon millions. I'm going to say 25 million.
25 million. Okay.
I'm going to say, ooh, that's good. I'm going to say 25 million and one, Bob.
That's a dick move. 39 million.
Damn it, I was going to say a no.
No.
39. So there, and the box office is already over $100 million.
I did it.
Million.
It's already over $100 million. We were recording this.
I'm going to the showcase.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, the budgets are getting bigger for these, and I think this one will probably be the worst one in terms of money. That's a little bit of the COVID. People not going to theaters quite as much, but also I think it's a little bit because of the quality of the film, which we'll get into. The director of this one is Michael Chavez, who directed The Curse of La Llorona. You might also know him from Bury a Friend, the Billie Eilish video.
Great video. Great video.
Yeah. I don't know, but it sounds great. And he did an HGTV Selling LA promo campaign. So there you go. That's about it. You know, you got a new director on this. Did La Llorona did this one. You know, we talked about in the Spiral episode, we got that Darren Bozeman guy, right? He did a million different Saw movies, then came back to do this Book of Saw, Spiral, Book of Saw, whatever, right? I wouldn't be surprised if this guy gets a lot more Conjuring universe movies. Because once you're kind of in, I think you're in. Like Lee Wanell, right? Like all those guys, like they end up doing a bunch of movies. I would expect this guy to do more. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but here we are. The lead in this one, Patrick Wilson from Mitch's favorite horror film, In the Tall Grass.
I got to see his big floating head at Fantastic Fest, so that was pretty cool.
There you go. That's why I said
I got
it was
a free
your favorite.
book out of the deal. So yeah, that actually, that tracks, Nate. I actually agree with that for his change.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson is a James Wan person.
Staple.
He's in Aquaman. He's in the second Aquaman. He's in all the Conjurings. He was in. I guess they have cameos in the Annabelle movies, right? And in the Nun movie, I think. And then he's obviously in the Insidious movies. So basically, if James Wan is doing something in the Waniverse and even other, if he's doing a franchise-based thing, Patrick Wilson will be there. You got Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine Warren. She has obviously been in all those movies, the Annabelle ones. She was in Godzilla, King of Monsters, the worst Godzilla. She was in Lisa. Have you seen the movie Orphan?
No.
Yes.
No.
All right. Mm-mm. Well, Orphan. Oh, Mitch, you've seen Orphan, right?
Yeah.
But here's the problem. I think I already got spoiled. I know.
Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Orphan. Orphan is a classic horror film. I don't know. Watch Orphan 100 times and watch this movie again, personally. So yeah. So those are the leads. I don't really care about any of the other actors other than John Noble, who everyone will know from Fringe and from the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm not sure which movie he looks older in, this one or the Lord of the Rings one, which was almost 20 years ago. But yeah, he's getting old. And they bring him in as kind of the old grizzly priest veteran, the classic one. And he was also Butcher's dad, of a very abusive person in season 2 of The Boys. So there you go. Those are the only actors I care about. Taglines for this: the demonic case that shocked America. No, it was the devil! ! And based on the shocking true story of demonic possession. Those are all false. We'll get into it as we get in the movie. After this movie was made, or after it was filmed, I guess, Lorraine Warren did pass away during this of a natural death. It could have been a witch. You never know. That's what this movie taught. You never know. Is your waterbed leaking? Demon. It's 100 times. Did you get flowers from an unknown admirer? Demon. Every time it could be a demon. Doesn't matter what it is. So maybe it was demon related. We'll never know. This is on HBO Max at the same time as in theaters, but it's doing well in the theaters, just like Quiet Place 2. I think that was the Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong, Quiet Place, and I think this one's probably going to top that in terms of coming back from the pandemic, which is great that people are seeing it. I wish there was a better movie to see, but hey, it's there. I guess I'll get into more of the trivia on this one. So we're doing the spoiler-free section here, right? What do we think about these characters? Did you care about any of these characters? Anybody? Because we got Arnie, who supposedly gets possessed.
I cared about the kid.
I
cared about the kid.
I cared.
The kid was in the movie for like 3 seconds.
Arnie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cared about his girlfriend.
What's her name?
Yeah. What's her face?
Dang it. I love
cared about Who's It and What's Her Face.
Who's It and the Y-Force. Yeah.
No, I mean, I wasn't, I would say I was invested in what was going on, and about the characters. I was invested in the Warrens because, again, it's the third movie. You've been with them for this long. I was not necessarily invested in the sort of the demon thing this time around. Like in the other ones, the demon has some sort of backstory or something, right? There's something to it that's part of the mystery. This one, less so.
There's a quote in this movie. It's like, hey, what are the reasons these people are doing this? It's like, they're Satanists. They don't need a reason. Like, that could be some of the worst writing I've ever heard in my life. They didn't even try on this one.
James Wan's trying to bounce between this and the second Aquaman. He can't. Yeah, that's
he's totally focusing on the second Aquaman.
Totally different. Yeah, man, Lisa, you're right. This movie is just boring. I feel like they had such a cool, interesting premise that you could have really done this as more of a procedural. You could have really done some of the spooky stuff where they're like investigating and finding the totem and doing some of that. But also, I just think they missed out on the whole interesting thing that is the trial. That's what I was going in wanting to see, was more of the trial and those kind of things, right? Like
it's cousin real life. The trial was nothing like they said it was. So,
well, I get that, Nate, but if they're going to take liberties anyway.
Well, they didn't take liberties with the end. They were like, hey, this all happened and this is what happened afterward and everything's great.
Yeah.
They said that in the text at the end of the movie. So they were apparently all about it.
I don't know, man. I feel like there could have been a little bit more of that part of it, because I thought that was, to me, that's the intrigue of it, right? We've seen enough of these movies where it's, there's some creepy totem somewhere, and now there's a demon, and now people are possessed, and now we're trying to figure out how to unpossess. It's, give me the trial was the interesting thing. How that was something that was unique about what I was more looking forward to at this one. And we didn't get any of it. What we got was the same old tired stick that we get with all these possession movies. And the problem is, while I was invested with those characters, I really wasn't like at any point tense or scared. This is the anti-Quiet Place. Like, I couldn't have been more relaxed and loose in this horror movie, right? I mean, Lisa, I know. What'd you think?
I agree. I felt the same way. Like, even when I thought it was going to get scary and I was like, oh no, I can't watch this. And I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But I wanted more of the trial too, because I knew nothing about the trial or anything of this. It didn't grip me. So it was kind of annoying that they just this is light spoilers, but they just kind of skip over the whole thing. And at the end, they're like, and this happened. And you're like, cool, great.
So Mitch, I think I found my true crime niche. My true crime niche is that I look up things to discredit people who say supernatural things happen. So that, I think I found it. I found it with this one. In real life,
sure, whatever gets you there, I guess.
In real life, they said, "Hey, we're going to use demonic possession as our plea," and the judge goes, "Yeah, you can't do that. So what's the real one?" So it wasn't even actually a plea, because it wasn't a plea. That you, like, the judge is like, "Yeah, you can't do that. That's just bullshit." And then they found another angle in the actual story, which they did not show in there, because again, the trial would have been bullshit. You'd be like, "Hey, were you possessed?" And you'd be like, "Sure, yeah." It's like, "Prove it." And it's like, "We can't." All right, the prosecution rests. That would have been the whole trial. I don't know. I don't know. So that's why they skipped it.
But even then, Nate, even then, you could have easily focused more on it being about the Warrens trying to convince people that, that this was possible, that the whole lead up to trying to get the judge to understand it, right? This isn't a spoiler thing. They have the one scene where they bring it up with the prosecutor, and the prosecutor's like, that's dumb, I'm not doing it. And they're like, why don't you come over for dinner? And then all of a sudden she comes back, she's like, by reason of demonic possession. Like, what happened? Why did you show us that? That would have been infinitely more interesting.
It's total bullshit when they say, come to my house. It's like, no, I'm not going to second location with you. You should be able to prove it. Hey, Judge, Nate, come over to our house real quick, and we'll make you figure it out.
Look how much you've learned from watching true crime stuff. Don't go to a second location.
I wrote in my notes, this is the worst Psych episode I've ever seen. Everyone go watch Psych. There's a good possession. There's two possession episodes in there, which neither of them are possessions because it doesn't exist. So anyway,
but that would have been an infinitely more interesting movie. You see a movie of them actually going through and they're doing the investigation. They're bringing these totems. They're trying to help demonstrate that this is a real thing. But how do you do that? And ultimately they don't. And that would have been a much more satisfying and interesting film than what we got. That's my point. Sure. An actual trial, maybe, because it didn't really happen. Although, to be honest, again, a lot of things in this movie didn't happen, Nate. So
the movie you're describing to me. Yeah, the movie you're describing to me also doesn't sound great, but it sounds better.
It sounds better.
It sounds better to me.
It's maybe not good. It just at least would be more interesting than what we got. It would have been something different at the very least.
Yeah, and you got the old punching bag, the Satanists in this one.
Right.
Who are they? Satanists. Why? Doesn't matter. That's almost a direct quote. Why? Doesn't matter. Chaos. Satan. Chaos.
Santa.
Totems. That's all you need. 3 words. You've described the entire motivation. There's some spells. There's some stuff. Curses. What's the end result? I don't think I even know what the final end result was going to be. I don't think I even know. Do you know? Is that a spoiler? I don't know. I don't remember what the reasoning was. Like, what was the end result going to be if all of this completes? I don't think I even know.
If they were able to finish the ritual?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's so worthless. It was low stakes. No one was ever actually in danger. So I don't know. I did not care for it. It was, at least look, the other two were better for sure. I didn't care for the second one at all. And then the first one I thought was fairly solid when I first saw it because it was different too. I mean, this is what, 8 years ago that the first one came out. So it's been a while. And it's just kind of over all these, everyone's backs are breaking. There's possessions.
Would it have been more interesting to you, Nate? I realize I'm asking someone who was Nate. You were dead set on hating this movie before you even saw it, so I'm not even worried about that.
I was not. I was starting out and not at a place of hope. Which, if it was good, would have surprised me. So it could have been surprising. But
what if it had been more about? So it starts with the exorcism. Well, I guess it couldn't have worked that way because they were there for the exorcism. Never mind.
So if you want to give me an X, I would say, I wrote in my notes, this Lorraine Warren, get her in the X-Men. She's basically a full-on superhero in this movie. She is just communicating with people. She's
fucking Jean Grey. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, she's basically Jean Grey in this movie, which is impressive.
Oh.
So I was like, can you figure out who assassinated JFK? Why are you dealing with these low stakes things? You should be going to the netherworld, asking Lee Harvey Oswald what happened, coming back.
Nothing's higher stakes than someone sold, Nate. Come on now.
Okay. Wow. That's something, I guess. If she had the powers in this movie, though, I mean, Lisa, wasn't this essentially superhero level powers?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was crazy.
Nate, she's who wins?
Straight up Professor X at this point.
Who wins in a psychic off? Lorraine Warren or the lady from Poltergeist?
Oh, Poltergeist lady. 10 out of 10. I love that lady. She's amazing.
That's why we're
never root against
That's
her.
why we're best friends.
I'll take her in a fist fight with Vin Diesel. I don't even care. I love that lady. She's awesome. She's about 3'9".
Oh God, it doesn't matter.
That lady's great. That lady is great. I mean, she's basically a superhero in this, and the detective work in this is crazy because, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but at certain points it's just like, oh yeah, I found this Latin thing. Okay, that propelled it forward. That's kind of a common trope to kind of move the thing along. But then at the end, it's just like, oh, I know who that is. Like it's this lady. I saw her. Yeah, cool, done. We did it. Like there's not even investigating. The investigating is almost like non-existent. So there's no court. The investigation is just kind of nothing. It's not scary, really at all. And I mean, the Warrens, I think Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, I think are good actors. They're fine, but everyone else is just totally worthless. To me anyway. I didn't really feel for any of them. The kid was out of danger really early in the movie too. No. So I mean, he wasn't really part of it.
I thought the acting overall was fine. It just, I think the material just wasn't great. The material wasn't great, and the direction wasn't.
It's not good when in my notes multiple times I just go, "Oh, this writing. Oh no!" Oh. Like there's one thing, and I don't remember exactly. It was something like, "Love is not our weakness. Love brings us together. Love is our strength." Like it was like, what is happening? This is like a middle school play.
Yeah, it was almost as bad as like the Wonder Woman ending, the new Wonder Woman 84 ending.
I haven't seen that.
I know you haven't, Nate. Jesus Christ. I don't. Sometimes, Nate, not everything I say needs a comment.
No, I haven't seen that. I can't compare. I'm saying I can't compare, but in this one I know is not good. But
I mean, Lisa,
I saw it. I can compare.
Which one's worse? Which is worse?
This was way worse.
This is way worse. Oh, okay. All right. Well.
All right. So, Lisa,
1984 was at least entertaining.
Fair.
Okay. Well, the Wonder Woman Conjuring comparison that everyone was clamoring for. We got it.
The Wonderverse.
The Wonderverse.
Oh God, the Wonderverse.
You remember Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV?
Yes, I do.
God.
Yeah. Hit Wonder Woman against Lorraine.
She's just like doing this, like pushing her back with like invisible beams or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Does Wonder Woman have the cellist behind her doing that during her like theme songs? I don't.
Oh no, she takes the thing and you have to tell the truth, and then she puts it around her. And she's like, "I'm a fraud," and then that's it. Yeah, perfect. Love it. That would actually be amazing. I want to see that.
So this is an aside, Nate, but it's something I asked Mitch, and I'm curious to see what you think. Do you think that the Warrens believed in this stuff, or you think that they knew it was crap?
I think they knew it was crap and liked publicity and money. So
okay.
Yeah. So during this trial in real life, they were like pushing book deals and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, yeah, that was their main deal.
I don't know. I do sometimes think that they believe their own bullshit. So.
And maybe some, but I don't think they actually were like, for instance, the reason that she thought the boy was possessed in real life was that she saw some black mist nearby the boy. So that's all. I saw a mist. Possessed.
That's what I mean. Sometimes people just buy into their own bullshit because they got no one else checking them, right? Like,
I don't know if you know this, but I'm pretty sure anything could have happened. She's like possessed. Like,
oh, sure.
Oh, you dropped that ball. You know why? Devil possessed your hand. Boom. That's possession. It's like, oh, my bed's creaking. No, the demon moved it. Possession.
So I think the beginning of the movie is probably the scariest part. If you can get past that, you're pretty much set. If you're worried about this being a scary movie.
It's very standard possession. It's not really doing anything extra.
Nothing you haven't seen.
Visceral. Yeah, it's very similar to other ones. So
even the effects aren't really, nothing really stand out. Would you agree with that, Lisa?
Yeah, yes. But with the interesting thing, I can't remember if you guys already mentioned it, but Mitch was telling me that the possessed kid is actually a contortionist in real life.
I thought I read that somewhere,
right?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. Like he's got some sort of, he was like doing all that most of the stuff. Also, Nate, how did you fail to mention that kid is in WandaVision?
I don't know.
Nate doesn't like superhero stuff, so
gosh. And Mitch said he's been in like 10 other horror movies already.
Yeah, he's the kid that gets a terrible death in The Color Out of Space.
Oh yeah, he has The morph death.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was worse than anything that could have possibly
cool.
happened in these movies. Yeah, no, he's been like in a bunch of horror movies. So yeah,
that's cool. I know he was in for sure. He was the little kid version of the guy from Invisible Man in The Haunting of Hill House season 1. I didn't see season 2, so I know it's the first one. I know that kid was in that, which I think he was pretty solid in that too. So yeah,
he's an old pro.
Yeah, this kid's an old pro from Dallas, Texas. I'm looking it up right now. He is almost 10. Damn, that's impressive. Oh,
look,
that kid's done more at age 9 than we'll ever do. Just think about it.
A good kid actor can really help, really make a horror movie work.
And they didn't even use him in this movie. He was barely in the movie. They did like one little flashback scene after the first scene, and then he wasn't even there. I mean, the kid was best actor of the movie. Maybe. Yeah. He was up there for sure. Yeah. That kid's great. Put him in more horror movies.
Well, look, if you have not seen this movie, it is in theaters. It is on HBO Max. Go watch it or not. It sounds like no one here is advising you to. No one's advising you to go to a theater to watch this unless you're just
no theater whatsoever.
Don't get an HBO Max account just to watch this. Like, if you got it when you were watching Mortal Kombat, then you're
like a free
set.
trial. Then go for it.
But look, if you don't want to get spoiled,
get out of here, witch.
Well, we're talking spoilers now. So, I mean, is there really all that much to spoil about this movie? There's so much uninteresting things that happen. The only real thing to spoil is that they shoehorn this whole thing because they have to come up with some reason to actually be like, oh no, the devil's really doing
Why did this guy kill someone? He's mentally ill. No, that couldn't have been it. That couldn't have been it at all. And then they play the movie like a happy ending at the end, and people got murdered a lot. It's fine. Everything worked out.
One person got murdered, so people's.
No, there was other related murders as well. Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't care.
We did it, guys.
I didn't care for this whole villain of the Satanist.
It was like the most cliche, terrible thing.
An anti-Lorraine. Like, she doesn't need an arch enemy. Like, if you need something worse than a demon, you've really gone off the path here.
You know the master Satanist who slits her father's throat with absolutely no hesitation is like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna play with this person who's like a powerful psychic person like me. Should have killed her instantaneously, ended the franchise, but unfortunately they can't do that. So that was I was like, I mean, I know it was never gonna happen, but I was like, just do it. Just stab her in the eyeball and make her wear. Okay, if they would have stabbed her in the eyeball, made Lorraine wear an eye patch for the rest of the movies, might have been on board with that. That could have been awesome.
Well, they couldn't, Nate, because the power of love is their strength. And you can't.
It's not a weakness, and
you can't
brings us together. And love is
so bad, so
conquers.
Dumb. So dumb.
So stupid. The dialogue was bad. The court was about a minute and a half of the whole movie. The court case that shocked America. They're in the court for like 3 seconds. I mean, it was ridiculous. Right. I just felt really bad for the guy who got stabbed a lot.
Oh.
They tried to paint this guy who existed and did get murdered as like a total douchebag in the movie. And then he gets murdered and he's like, no one cares. No one cares about that guy. I felt bad for that guy. That was the most sympathetic character. I don't know. Lisa, anything stick out to you? I don't even know. Who cares?
Anything?
I don't know. Anything.
I don't know. It was funny because, I mean, let's just get to the end where they're ending the trial or whatever, and the jury goes out, and Mitch just looks at me because he already knew how the case ended, and he's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "They convicted him.
Case ended. You go to jail."
Convicted him.
That guy only goes to jail for 5 years for stabbing a dude, essentially unprovoked, 22 times, and then fleeing the scene. 22 times.
They must have thought
5 years in jail.
Had a mental problem. I don't know.
22 times and then fled. They found him 2 miles
away. And
talk
about Stand By Your Man. He got married to the girl while he was in jail.
And they made a promotional video for this movie with that lady. She's like, oh yeah, he was possessed for sure. Yeah, totally. I was like,
well, yeah, they were getting proceeds.
Well, what the hell else is she supposed to say?
Don't use that person. This is a real murder. I hate it.
How much money has it made, Nate? How much money has it made?
Yeah, I don't care for that at all.
They're gonna reprint the book now too. So there you go.
Great.
Look,
who wrote the book? Who wrote the book?
I gotta find out. Actually, hold on.
Someone who I'm not going to be supporting.
I'm about to say you're not going to read it. What do you give a shit about?
just make sure you steer clear of all of that. Yeah.
Don't worry, Nate. I ordered it. I'll let you know how it is once I get it.
Yeah, I mean that whole aspect of it, I really did not care for it at all. We've already gone through this a lot of times. Not a true crime person. I more err on the side of like, yeah.
Nate, you don't like true crime.
Shit. Yeah, but I mean, like this one.
It was called The Devil in Connecticut, by the way.
Okay.
By Gerald Brittle.
Okay, great.
I don't know when I will be getting it. June 22nd. Ooh, I'll get a new book here in a week.
Awesome.
Woo!
Great. Looking forward to that review.
You seriously ordered that garbage to our house?
I did.
Is it one page and said that was all bullshit? We're just kidding.
No, because this is the guy that was also profiting from it. So
got it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I really did not care for that part of it, even outside of the movie. And then I watched the movie. I'm like, wow, I really don't care for this. So yeah, he really hit on both angles, not being good. Scariest part of the movie is what do we say? The scariest part.
The scariest part of this movie for me was the ending with the actual like audio recording.
Yeah, with the exorcism audio recording. Yeah, that was creepy.
Make that the movie. Right? If you're literally sitting on like actual like weird sounding shit, just make that part like make this whole thing a mockumentary about the trial and about this shit, right? And just like be playing that. That would have been much creepy. Like that was genuinely the most unsettling thing about the entire film. And it came in and the bullshit credits that most people probably turned off after right away, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. And then it would have been way too true crimey for me, but it might have been more interesting. So yeah, I don't know. It probably couldn't have won with me either way. But yeah, I think it'd have been more interesting.
Look, the problem with these demonic possession movies is that they're all just trying to be The Exorcist. There's very few up until the first Conjuring that's really, I mean, they're all the same sort of beats. So at this point, I'm happy for interesting over scary, you know, when it comes to this kind of stuff. You know, if you give me an interesting film and maybe it's not as scary, I'm much more, you know, but if you're going to go for scary, you better be fucking scary. You know, if you're going to try to really, this was just, I mean, yeah, it almost played like a Marvel film. The more you mention it, the more I think about it. It's like, we've got these like a super villain and a superhero and they're battling with demons and it's so dumb.
It was real dumb. And then, yeah. I don't know. The scariest part for me, I guess, was the very end. So there's a master Satanist who's trying to do a spell for reasons that are not actually no reason, just to do it, just for fun. And she conjures a demon, and apparently the demon can just pass from person to person, no problem. Doesn't matter where you put the curse or anything. Someone just happens to be there like, hey, go into me instead of the kid. And they're like, sure. All right. That was, I don't know what the transitive property of demon or whatever is.
And how did she get his picture?
It's impossible. It's like, it's impossible. She's like everywhere and nowhere at once. Like, I don't know. It's something. Never accept flowers. That's what I learned from this movie. Except flowers, all of a sudden there's a totem in it and you almost kill your wife within like, you know, hours of being home. I don't know. Patrick Wilson is spending half the movie trying to kill his wife for some reason. I'm not sure how that happened. It was multiple times. Also, he had like a heart attack and he's just like chopping things and hitting things with like sledgehammers and it doesn't matter. I don't know. It was actually a superhero movie. Now that I think this could have been a Fast and the Furious / Marvel movie. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of spells in this one. There's a big twist. They go to the old grizzled priest who dealt with the cult of the Ram. Is that a real thing, Mitch?
The cult of the Ram is your tie back to Annabelle. If you pay attention in the in all the Annabelle movies, the cult of the Ram is actually the Satanists that end up being the ones that end up kind of possessing Annabelle and starting all that. So that is actually a tie back to the rest. So yeah, that's really kind of an Easter egg for everyone who's watched all of them.
Got it. Okay. Well, that's a tie, but not based on anything real though. It's just
no,
okay.
Nate, no.
None of that stuff existed. I don't know why I even asked that.
Yeah,
but okay, so
come on.
So yeah, there's that, and then that guy was getting into it, and then he got so crazy about it that his daughter got crazy about it, and then she turned into a master Satanist, and then she tried to do all this shit. So he was protecting her from the Warrens. And then she was the one going after them. Then she went after the Warrens. And then, the Warrens are using their kids in these movies, very Zodiac-esque. The kids are like looking up possessions and doing all kinds of crazy shit. I felt bad for the kids in this one. I don't know, Lisa, did you feel bad for the kids?
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, it was. I think the kids were doing a better job at the investigation than the parents were, if you ask me. And then there's a final showdown, and you just know the Warrens will be fine. There's another time where Ed Warren is chasing his wife, and then transmagically by the property of movies, she's right up against the thing where the curse happens. So if he hits it, all the curse breaks at once, of course. And then the demon comes back and okay. There's bone breaking, and then there's like bone breaking. And at the very end, when the Satanist lady's bones break because the demon does whatever with her, that was actually kind of cool. Because she got like bone broke and then like went real limp and fell down. That was actually a good bone body break. I would have to say. Whatever that means. That's worth 0.05 points on the scale, but it was there, so I have to mention it. Any other positives from the movie? I've really been dragging it. Any positives you want to throw out? Anything good at all? Crickets. All right.
No, I mean, I totally said this. I think. Okay, so this is. I know as I say this, I'm going to get incredulous eye rolling and stuff from y'all. But look, I think the direction these movies and any of this possession stuff needs to go is very. I mean, like the first two are interesting because they are specific demons more so than just the devil, and they have a name and all of that. And I think that's part of what really worked in then we're in spoilers, but there's also a spoiler for Hereditary. In that movie you have Paimon, which is a demon, which comes from the Lesser Key of Solomon text, which is a big demonology diabolism manuscript. Like it's in like that text is in like the British Museum, those 5 books or whatever, right? And it describes like Paimon and what he's like the king of he's one of the kings of hell, and people who worship him, they do it for very much the reasons that are in that movie. And I think that is so much more of an interesting and so much more nuance to all of this than just I'm just possessed by the devil. I mean, even The Exorcist has that, right? I mean, Pazuzu is the demon that possesses them, right?
Yeah.
This trying to shoehorn this into some weird like I'm casting spells and doing some like the problem with that is that you have to make a compelling reason why someone would do that. That is a high risk, high reward situation. Like she's got to get 3 souls or she loses hers. That just seems like a bad trade.
It's a bad bet. And if you can do all these things with
out
your
of
powers, like what are you doing? Like
you already have
too
power.
powerful to be failing. Yeah, they're too powerful to be failing.
Okay,
with these low
calm down here, Enron.
It's like
too big to fail.
Crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like they're so powerful, and then like the stakes are like I guess for the Satanists is so high, and like you can't summon a demon who can like take out a 9-year-old boy. That doesn't even make sense. I don't know. It just seemed like, what was the use of all that power if you just keep failing over and over and over again? When people didn't even know what was happening, you were failing. Yeah. Like, right? And then they started getting what? No chance whatsoever. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous. Maybe she just wanted a challenge. She's like, I'm not going to turn it up until I really need to. Maybe that was it. I don't know. It wasn't proportionate to the crazy amount. I'll deliver one thing of flowers to your house, and all of a sudden you're about to murder your wife. Like instant. That was instant. I can't even imagine how this didn't work. This plan should have worked before anyone noticed. I mean, the powers here are just absolutely astounding. I don't know. It was bad. So she blew it. The Satanist lady blew it. She blew it. She was up 20 in the fourth quarter and then just lost it. I don't know what happened exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's it. And then the Warrens are, putting another thing in their terrible museum that costs way too much money to go to, right, Mitch? In real life.
Well, you can't go to it now because of zoning laws. So, say what you will about demonic things. They still have to respect the law of zoning.
I love it. That's how you get them. You get them with the zoning.
Like, does a priest still go? Like, since Lorraine's gone, does a priest actually still go and bless Annabelle, or is that stopped? Like, oh,
we making money on this anymore now? Okay, cool. We're done. Oh, it transmagically fixed itself. Great.
Oh my
love
God.
it.
Lisa, anything?
Also,
go ahead. Anything else you want to say about this one?
No, I've said it all. Lisa, anything you want to say?
Nate, I said, I love it. I literally said, Lisa, anything you want to say? You're like, no, we know you're done. You're done, Nate. Lisa, would you like to say anything?
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm done too.
Lisa was actually speaking through me. She's speaking through me like Lorraine Warren. Sorry about that. Yeah. Whoa, I'm back.
All right. Well, look, in that case, let's fuck it. Let's just get to our final cut.
Final cut.
I want to start.
This episode has more screams in it than the movie.
Than the whole movie. Yeah, exactly. I want to start this. I want to get this ball.
Just
rolling.
go. Knock it out.
This movie's bad. It's bad. I don't like the true crime part. I don't like that they were saying this really happened, like for real. Ooh, I hate that. I hate that part of it. I hate that they just glossed over the murders and like, hey, they got married, happy ending. You stabbed someone 22 times. So
he served some of his time.
He served 5 years for stabbing someone 22 times, basically unprovoked. So that's ridiculous. And then they have this whole charade.
Can I just chime in? This is not the first, nor will it be the last time that they put a movie out like this based on a true story.
Yeah, it depends how you portray it. So it's like, hey, this person murdered somebody, but like they're the good guy. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't think most movies are quite that way. I think a lot of them are just like Mindhunters kind of deal, right? Where it's like, this person's gross, but we kind of want to figure out why they're so gross because it's like very like extreme, right? And that's like appealing because like, how is this possible, right? This was just like, this person got possessed. This guy was kind of a douchebag, killed him. He's like the hero. And then he lives happily ever after with his wife. I didn't like that portrayal part of it, I guess is the difference maybe. Or we could just not do any based on true story things. And then we're not doing that.
Sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to say I didn't care for that part. I didn't care for the actual movie. It was bad. It was written very poorly. I don't know what the director could have done if that was the script. I don't know how much that fault it was. It wasn't scary. It was a procedural that wasn't a procedural. It was a courtroom drama that wasn't a courtroom drama. And it was an investigative movie that the only investigation that actually happened was another related murder that had nothing to do with that. That was like the best part of the investigating. So it was all over the place. It wasn't good. I don't like them to begin with, and then it was really bad. I mean, I'm gonna go real low. I'm gonna go 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 skulls in a flower vase. Apparently, if you put some skulls in a flower vase, then your husband will try to murder you. So,
all right, Lisa, where are you going with this one?
I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Oh, I love it.
And I give it a 2 because I like the kid.
The kid is 1 point of the 2 for the whole
He's
movie.
1 point, and John Noble, right? That's his name? John
Yeah,
Noble?
that guy.
Yeah. He's 1
great.
point, and that's about it.
Oh, I love it.
Because I don't know if Nate mentioned it, but he was also in Fringe, and Mitch and I used to love
Yeah, he was Fringe. He's the Fringe guy. He's great. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. Wow. All right. Lisa and I have never been more in sync. I think she is talking through me. I think she's Lorraine warning me. I don't know what's happening to me.
It's just boring. Here it
it's
a waste of time.
1.5.
No, it's not a. There are
Don't
parts.
say it, Mitchell. It is a bad movie.
I would say actively bad because it has no like lighthearted parts. It's really focusing on this like true story, like whatever. And it just, I don't know.
Yeah, it focuses on true story and then it doesn't even talk about the true story.
That's what I'm saying. It's like all these things, but like 1/3, and they all get thrown together in a 2-hour movie.
I can't in good conscience give it a 2, but I can give it 3 out of 10 totems.
Yes.
It's bad. It's bad. All right. Well,
bad.
look, if you're here, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully y'all agree. If you don't agree, I mean,
I thought we were going to be very far apart.
This is still a better movie than Gretel and Hansel. So I would watch this movie 400 times before I ever watch Gretel and Hansel another time. So there's that.
Hey, person who gave the 5-star review, you can always go back and say Gretel and Hansel.
Hey Nate, you want to know, every week I say, if you think that Gretel and Hansel is a good movie, feel free to write in and let us know. Fight me.
Fight him.
And yet, Nate, our voicemail is empty. Our email is silent. I believe time will show that
not a lot of cell phone reception from a witch's oven.
Well,
tough.
Oh my God. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up from this week's episode. Nate, where can they find us?
You can find us, as always, at TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre, Instagram, and Facebook. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. And remember to put a movie, ideally, but we do appreciate the compliments. But hey, throw a movie in there. Gretel and Hansel, Human Centipede, all great options. Throw in a Hope Floats for Lisa. Lisa, you like Hope Floats?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, there you go. Throw in a Hope Floats if you want for Lisa. And yeah, look, there's new movies coming out. This is awesome. But there's a little lull. So we're going to get to some of the listener requests and a few other fun movies that we're going to catch up on. Even though there was no new movies, there was tons of streaming movies. So we are going to catch up on those a little bit. But yeah, give us some movies, and we got some theme months coming up, which Mitch is very excited for. There's one Japanese movie in there that I know Mitch is very happy about being added in. So stay tuned.
Can't wait. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Lisa, you did it. Thank you for seeing all of these new movies. We are going to try to get you some backup, get you some relief in here with the unsuspecting victim. So we want someone to share in the suffering with you. So
hey, can you share some suffering with me? Ooh, busy that day. Sorry about that.
No. Look, we're just gonna put a totem underneath the.
Yeah, is there?
Hey Nate. Sorry, where were all the totems located? Were they in the basement? Yeah, they were.
Oh, one was in a flower vase. What do you mean?
Not the attic.
What?
Not the attic.
It was actually was it in the basement or was it in a crawl space?
It was, don't you dare. It was in the basement.
There was, I don't know if that a whole underground thing was too
guess
low
where the
to be a
Warrens keep
basement.
all. You want to know what? This is what I should be saying. You know why basements are creepier? Because that's where the Warrens keep all their bullshit. So there you go.
Okay, it's good for storage.
That's good for storage.
That's all I heard.
Good for demon storage.
Look, storing is storing. All right.
I mean when we have our attic versus basement month again, you guarantee you're going to be watching Annabelle Comes Home for that one. So prep yourself.
Okay,
Nate.
well, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm sure I'll love it.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
It's great.
All right. Well, Lisa, thank you so much again. We look forward to your whatever movie you select in there for.
We look forward to a very non-annoying movie that you'll be selecting.
Yeah.
So.
No problem.
All right. Well, from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.